So this video was supposed to be up yesterday, but sadly my fucking laptop is a dumbass and it won't record anything. Like, without, like, having flickers and all that. And I want good quality from you guys. Or not from you guys, you want good quality from me, is what I meant to say. I can't fucking speak, I'm too frustrated. I literally spent, like, day and night trying to, like, figure out how I could record with this, funny enough, the same software. Like, the same exact software. And just, like, it just wouldn't record. I don't know if it's because of my laptop or because I'm just an idiot, but I'm just gonna probably give up. Figure it out some other time. No, but besides that, what is going on, everybody? It's Rooks 2. I'm back with Lucid9 again. Like I said, like in the beginning, this was supposed to be out literally yesterday, if I could figure out how to fucking record on my goddamn laptop, which I thought was gonna be very easy, but I guess not. Maybe I just need to go to Fraps or something. I probably won't do that, but I'm thinking about it. Christ. So, last I remember, or not last I remember, literally this was a whole fucking ordeal yesterday of figuring out where the hell I was going, or when I was gonna, like, start this fucking episode. Like, sorry, I'm just legit flustered right now. I'm a little bit tired. A little bit, not too much tired. What I do remember is we are here in Yama's past, talking about some shit with family. I'm only reading the first 2 words, so I don't care. Let's get right into it after I take a sip of fucking Powerade. For those wondering, no, I'm not actually that mad. I'm just a little fucking frustrated, that's it. Anyways, let's continue. Our families were close. Misaki's father would always throw these get-togethers at their house over the weekends or during special occasions. I remember him being really overwhelming at first. He was a lot like Misaki, only bigger and louder. I rarely saw Misaki's mother. The times I did see her, she was pretty distant. Besides that, I really don't remember much about her. At first we were inseparable, Misaki and us. But then her father had lost his job, and we started seeing less of her. And eventually they just left. No warning whatsoever. Even our parents tried to get in contact. No luck. It had been as if the Kazihayas had disappeared off the face of the planet. That must have been a really hard blow. Ryu says that it had been. Honestly, I don't remember much of what followed. It all passed in a haze. Essentially, I felt abandoned. I had this idea that everyone close to me would leave me. I don't think I could even cry. I only felt empty inside. But Ryu says that it really was a terrible time. She says that I didn't eat, didn't sleep, didn't even play any games with her. She says that I looked like a ghost. Heck, practically became one. And I don't remember it, but she says that one day... I don't know what that was. You could probably pause it and figure it out better, but that just was quick. Anyways. I had to be extra because of that exclamation point. So, sorry for your ears. It's been a long time since Dots was ever said. Like, let's be honest, like, from the last 2 episodes, I think? No, just the last episode. There was almost none. So, I guess it came back one last time. Ow, God. That hurt my eyes for some reason. Yama, what's wrong? Here we go again. Nope. Sorry, that's it. Sob story over. Are you sure? You do realize the entire point of therapy is to share your sob stories. It's not a burden, Yama. I'm glad to hear you out. I feel tired. I think I'll have to stop here. It's mainly an excuse, and a very effective one for the therapists. Mr. Ryota immediately nods in understanding. Thanks for confiding in me. Just know that what you felt was completely valid. I'm sorry you had that trauma. It's fine. I got over it. I'd like to go now, if that's okay. If you're sure. Is there anything I can do for you? I'm okay. Sure you don't want a lollipop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But thanks. Have a good day, Yama. But at least take this prescription. Prescription? Seriously? Then I actually looked at it. 1 bucket of ice cream to be eaten guilt-free. Oh. As far as the administration knows, this is totally a legitimate treatment. Ice cream is one of the core groups in the food pyramid, you know. He actually pulls a genuine laugh out of me. Thanks, Mr. Ryota, and thanks for listening. Anytime. I exit Mr. Ryota's office in a considerably better mood than when I entered it. I actually don't feel tired. I feel rejuvenated. Okay, sounds like this is going to start into like a Maybelline commercial or something. Like, introducing Maybelline lotion. Okay, I'm going to fucking stop. At least I'm not talking about Jergens. Oh, okay, no. Not going to start on that topic of Jergens. Seems like those memories have been weighing on me for a long time. Maybe therapy really will be beneficial. Funny enough, that whole... If this is going to be a big thing, like Mr. Ryota's going to help him through this shit, it reminds me of actually a book I read in middle school. It was actually a really good book. I forgot what it was. Hold on. I'm going to search for it. Oh yeah, I forgot I had it on my phone already. I forgot I was searching for this like a day ago. But it's the book Bait by Alex Sanchez. It's a really good book, actually. It's about this kid who's actually on probation, I think it is. And actually, I'm going to turn my phone off by accident. I'm going to read the synopsis real quick just to myself, and I'll see if I'm correct. Oh, no, he's on probation, but he has a probation officer. So, and like, he talks about his problems and all that throughout his life. Very suicidal and all that. It's a good read. I'd honestly recommend that book. And just go read it. It's actually a really good book if you like very suicidal teen dramas and all that jazz. But that's all I have to say about that. Let's just come back to this. Deciding to take his prescription to heart, I head straight to the downtown shopping area. With my mind cleared, I get to pay a little more attention to the weather. Beautiful, cloudless skies. The slightest hint of a cool breeze. You. Excuse me, but, who are you? Who are you? And why do you know me? Why are you wearing a king shirt? That's what I want to know. Who are you? They're probably gonna explain it, but I'm just confused right now. A girl careens from around the corner and nearly crashes right into me. Her glasses flash dangerously as she tips her newsboy cap over her forehead, studying me with an intensity that could rival an electric microscope. Me? That's all I can manage to say at the eccentric sight. Yes, you. An idyllic, unlettered civilian. Perfect. A hint of a satisfied smile tugs at her lips. For what must be the 100th time today, I feel a keen sense of impending doom. Respond to my questions with either yes or no. Do not deviate. Do not invent. Do not deviate. Do not invent. And for the sake of both of our sanities, do not dawdle. Don't know that many people use dawdle, but okay. First, am I correct in assuming you are an academy student? You must have the wrong person. I've never seen you before. How can you judge the purpose behind this encounter without knowing the criteria I have set in my approach? I am not mistaken. You are my target. It doesn't take a genius to sense that this girl means trouble. I decide to conveniently ignore her and step around her. She only steps with me, blocking my path again. Oh, great. I can sense where this is going. As I envisioned, subject demonstrated a remarkable inability to utilize basic cognitive functions. Talk about uncalled for, abusive words, overly complicated language. She clearly has a few screws loose. Maybe I should call the hospital, see if they have a runaway mental patient. A mental patient that apparently dresses nice, I guess. But she's not wearing hospital clothes. No shit, Sherlock. Look, kid, I don't know what your problem is, but... Kid? What, she's like 30 fucking years old, even though she looks like she's 9. The pleasantly cool air suddenly develops a rather harsh chill. She must be in one of those phases. Just another 14-year-old expecting to be treated with the dignity of a grandmother. Albeit a 14-year-old who apparently memorized the dictionary. Well, whatever you are, generally speaking, it's pretty rude to just run up to some random stranger and insult them. Truly, your idiocy has risen to a level beyond which I have previously surmissed. Yeah. What is this chick on about? Legit, like she's using words like idiocy, surmissed. What is up with this chick? She immediately digs into her pockets and flashes something in front of my face. Probably a camera. Or that one thing from Men in Black. Picture here. Yeah. Shigeru Inamoto, freelance detective. Huh? 14-year-old, fuck it, it's anime, whatever. Legally certified to inspect crime scenes, obtain private files, and, if necessary, interrogate unduly inquisitive citizens, with the observational fitness of a blind bat. And you shall note that I am 26 years of age. You don't look like it, honey. Straight up. It's like those old 80s films, like they say, oh, these are like 16-year-old girls, yet they look like they're in their 30s. Flash a picture of one of them here. Yeah. It's like, no, you don't. Wait. What? You're 26? Unless you presume to imply that you are deaf as well as dumb, I suggest. But you're so short. I practically feel ice crystals forming in the air. Well, I should strongly prefer to be short of stature than short of cerebral matter, as seems to be your tendency. Ouch, not a bad blow. But wait, if you're a freelance detective, doesn't that mean that this is an interrogation, and I'm a suspect? If I have to go to the police station, do I get excused absence from school? Some weird-ass dots, I apologize. I see no need to reverse your expectations that you will be taking the unexcused absence as they are. Consider it an inevitable, similar to your clinical depression. That stops me. What? How could she possibly... What would even make her think something like that? You might as well carry a sign. From your uniform, you are a student at the academy. From the fact that you are wearing it, you attend school this morning. From your presence in town rather than in class, you are, as I believe they call it, playing hooky. From that prescription slip, you are enrolled in the recently developed therapy method that the academy has been boasting. God, she has like so much to talk about. Just shut up. From your fairly normal physicality and social skills, your problem is most likely clinical depression or something like high functional autism. Wow. Throwing out either depression or autism. Jesus. I didn't know that's how this game was going. Okay, I get it. You're a detective. And you're impressed, but pretending not to be. It is pretty impressive. The observations themselves might seem like common sense, but a person who can actually synthesize them is a rare find. Which, of course, kind of just makes her even more annoying. I relax a little, oddly relieved that she hadn't actually secretly researched me. Now it is your turn. My turn. Of course. What can you see from my physical presentation? The fact that you look like a 14-year-old, as he said. Apparently you like that one company that does apps. I forget which ones. You have a beret for some reason, even though like it's called something else in this, but that's a fucking beret. A director's cap. The fact that you are literally again 14 years old in this picture here. The fact that why the fuck do your glasses cut off right there? Okay, I'm gonna fucking stop. I'm gonna let Yama go. I invite you to give your brain some much needed exercise. That gets close to firing me up. Close. Sorry, but I have my therapist's instructions to follow. Unless you have any actual business with me, I'd appreciate it if you left me alone. I step around her again. This time she doesn't move. But just as I think that I'm home free, I hear a soft whisper drifting from behind me. Do you not wish to play a bigger role in society than an inconsequential pawn in this game of life? Or will you restrict yourself to the confines of your own abilities just because of her? I quietly stop. Turn around slowly. Tell me how you know that, right now. I shall after you prove yourself mentally capable of comprehending the simplest of my explanations. Fine, she wants to play it that way. Let her play it that way. Time to what the hell? What the hell? Okay, time to focus. What's going on? I'll start with... Oh, I'm given an option. Okay. Well, next time on this show... No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. That's the second time I've joked about ending it. I guess if anything, let's start... Close? No. Yeah, close. Unlike the standard professional wear I might expect of a law enforcement agent, she's dressed comfortably. Probably can do that because she's a freelance detective. They also haven't been ironed in a while, which means either she doesn't care or she's a workaholic, possibly a combination of both. Her shirt proclaims king, conscious or unconscious association to her egotism. I can't tell much, but I find it strange that she dressed so casually and I expect people to take her seriously. With her height and her clothes, is it any wonder that she's often mistaken for a kid? That's exactly true. And one more thing bothers me. She wears comfortable-looking clothes, which I previously assumed were for efficiency. After all, chasing down criminals in high heels is a stupid idea. And yet, something stands out. Yeah, something does kind of stand out. Not really the glasses. The glasses and hoodie don't really bother me. Probably just the hat. Probably hat and jeans. Yeah. Right. Hats are a pain to run with. Because unless you keep one hand on them at all times, they're likely to flop around, fall off, or just generally be obnoxious. And the jeans are too tight to opt for flexibility. Running in those would either be very uncomfortable or very, very embarrassing. Which implies that she just dresses how she wants. Definitely a very headstrong individual. If she doesn't choose casual clothes for comfort, knowing that it can interfere with her job, then is she purposefully choosing it to aggravate others, to announce her individualism? It would match with her choosing to be a freelance detective instead of a corporate investigator. Free-spirited, rebellious, and, as I suspected from how she's shamelessly pulling me aside for no reason, guided more by her heart than her head despite her intellect. Not bad. Next time I should think about. Probably not the body language, the circumstances. Why here? Why now? Why me? These are all questions I need to address. Detectives approach me and bombard me with questions, but I see no other policemen. Is she doing this just because she's bored? No, she was specifically looking for an academy student for some reason. I'm coming up short in this area. I'll have to think about this later. Alright, body language. She spreads her weight evenly on both feet, unlike most girls who let it lie more on one side of their hip than the other. Even weight on both feet almost sounds like a fighting stance or formal pose. No? I'm not sure. I don't want to say it's fighting, because I don't think she wants a fight. Unless she secretly is trying to capture me or whatever for some reason. I'll just say formal. She could be used to formal settings, but that doesn't seem to match very well. The rest of her body language isn't so proper. She seems to hunch slightly, with her shoulders loose. No, it's more likely that she's in a fighting stance. Ah! Damn it. I should have said fighting stance. She seems relaxed, but with that bright-eyed look of someone expecting danger around every corner. That kind of weight distribution doesn't seem to come naturally. Maybe she was in sports, or maybe in self-defense at one point, for a while, from the looks of it. I'd like to guess martial arts, but I can't say for sure. There are too many possibilities. Okay, then maybe I should think about this a different way. Her movements are very crisp and close to the body. When she's speaking, she doesn't gesture very much, even when yelling. Generally speaking, sports emphasize emoting on a huge scale, roaring in victory, bawling in defeat, the works. Not only that, the limbs are trained more for gross motor skills than fine motor skills. On the contrary, Shigeru has very tight control over her hands, almost to the point where she seems stiff. I need to take a drink. Hold on, that's a lot of talking. Fucking hell. I didn't know this dude had good focus. Christ. Which likely points to something high control, like ballet or archery, or a more subtle martial art like Wing Chun. Well, that still didn't narrow things down too much. Time to move on. I've noticed that when Shigeru moves, she primarily tends to use her. Oh, fuck, I didn't notice that. Shit, I didn't notice what she was using. I guess technically, if I look, it's more her right hand. Because, like, right there, perspective, it's more the right. Her left hand is generally stagnant, while her right often takes the most action, adjusting her glasses or tapping against her hip. Probably safe to assume that she's right-handed. That's a good thing to assume. Come on. Okay, I just got a random stream notification. Sweet. So yeah, it's right-handed. So she used to be involved in a high control form of physical exercise, and she's right-handed. Is that all I can get from her body language? Well, she doesn't wear any noticeable makeup. She dresses like a kid, and she wears glasses instead of contacts, just calling more attention to her pathetic stature. Wait a minute. When I put it that way, it almost sounds like she... like, still pick has a mental disability. Fuck. She wants to be underestimated. I think that's probably the case, yeah. She wants underestimation, or however the fuck that word is. Because, as most would say, like, she's young, but she looks young. And acts not acts kind of young. I guess just looks young. She just wants to be underestimated. Even though she pretends to be indignant about being mistaken for a kid, it looks like that's her intent. Even though she's a freelance detective, she doesn't wear her badge anywhere, or carry a gun, or anything really. She probably believes that being underestimated is a valuable skill. I can't say I personally agree, but hey, she's a 26-year-old freelance detective, not me. I take a step back to look at the full picture. No, this isn't it. Not quite. It's good information, but it's basic. Nothing stands out. I can't actually use any of this. Time to think a little deeper. Is there anything that can help me? Anything at all? Something I've missed? Okay, what? I don't know what's happening, but... Inamoto speaking. Yes? If you can't resolve such an appallingly simple task by your own means, I shall consider your intellect no different than that of a headless chicken's. Good day. Boats. I said boats. Now, you may want to hasten your efforts before the ground up which we start which we stand becomes our gravestones. Yeah, I'm on it. Should I continue? Where the hell are we on this? We're 30 minutes in this shit, dude. Do I really want to make this like almost an hour long? You know what? Yes, I am. This will be probably the longest, at the very least, Lucid9 episode that's just going to be, depending on when this situation ends. So let's continue. I say this distractingly, primarily because I noticed she has a flip phone. Ancient technology by today's standards. Buttons, 2-inch screen, primitive camera, the works. Not just that, but it's a terrible looking flip phone. The kind of decor that you'd see on prepubescent phones. Rhinestones, hard stickers, even the random scroll from a Sharpie that was too faded into the metal for me to read. It's completely unlike her, which means that it's a wealth of information. While on call, she so graciously turned the phone in my direction, allowing me to catch a glance of her wallpaper. Shock, it was a picture, at least a few years old, of a guy hugging her. Double shock, she was proud showing off a ring. Not a cheap, cutesy colored ring like the couple bands of a new relationship in its second week. A legitimate diamond ring. An engagement ring. Yama's digging deep into whatever the hell's going on with this chick. But she's not wearing the ring anymore. Even looking at her hands at this moment, I can't even tell that she'd ever worn one. Which means that she once had a fiancé, and he broke up with her, and he did it. Oh, recently or a long time ago? That's a good question. Like, if you can't really tell if like a ring's been on somebody, you would be able to fucking know or something like that. So, for me, I'm going to say maybe a long time ago? Ah, of course. If the engagement ring had ended recently, I'd see a tan. Yeah, see, you see a tan around her finger, or maybe an indent. Instead, there's nothing, which means that the fiancé called off the engagement a while ago. She obviously didn't call it off, not if she's keeping that picture on her phone. In fact, maybe they broke it off amicably, however you say that word, if she hasn't deleted it yet. Either that, or she's a stalker. Alright, that's much more like it. I think I'm ready. I square my shoulders and look at her in the eye. Sorry about the wedding. What? Hello? What wedding? Is she serious? How can I possibly word this delicately? Yours. The one that your fiancé called off a few years ago. Did he? Didn't he? Unless she does have a wedding ring and she just doesn't wear it. Isn't it in your pocket or something? You might seek to articulate yourself better. Is what in my pocket? Your wedding ring. Why would I have a wedding ring in my pocket? If your fiancé didn't call off the wedding, then... Wait. No, there's one more possibility, and since she's in law enforcement, it wouldn't be unlikely. I immediately shut up as the realization dawns on me. What? I see you have realized. Yes, he never called off the wedding. Because he died. Jesus Christ. I suddenly felt very, very callous. I'm sorry. Silence. Say nothing that you don't mean. Unless you are manipulating others to extract information, as that is an occupational hazard. Right. Even as she continues on, I mentally hit myself for my error. I shall admit, civilian, that you have done adequately. Hey, that's mildly adequate. Sorry. Train your senses consistently, and you might become moderately useful in the future. Thanks. Really, I'm overwhelmed. But I ask of you this. What is the meaning when a freelance detective approaches a student and asks a string of seemingly unrelated questions of him? She suspects him of a crime, she's testing him, she has a crush on him. Yeah, 26-year-old possibly getting jiggy with a 16-year-old or 17. I hope it's not any younger than 16 or 17. Probably just testing him. You know, that'd be my guess. Like, I don't think he did any crime, unless we have no idea. Maybe. Okay, just call me crazy on this, but you guys probably are calling it too. Maybe Yama kind of did the crime that was in the very beginning. Maybe. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I hope that's not. Because, like, I thought it was Misaki at first, but it wasn't. Because she does, like, something else. She doesn't do, like, any crime work or something. She does, like, modeling. So I'm not sure, so that's just my theory. I'm just gonna guess she's just testing him. You're testing my intelligence for some reason. Or you're actually a marketing intern trying to conduct some bizarre survey. I wouldn't know. Shigeru fixes me with an unfathomable stare. The only sign of emotion on her face are her eyebrows, which are almost raised to her hairline. What is your name? Sorry? Your name. This has nothing to do with the case, but if I protest, she'll probably smack me with more verbal abuse. Yama Ishimoto. What is she thinking of? Her derision is preferable to her silence. I postulate that you possess a nimity of free time. What is your assessment regarding a coagulant métier? What? It looks French for some reason. Coagulant métier? Who even uses those kinds of words? That's true. Funny enough, that reminds me of a video I watched. Like, people who use long words by Gradio Underrate. Go check that out. It's a good video. But it's such a funny thing. Because it's like, it's true. Who the fuck uses long words like coagulant meteor? I don't even think I said coagulant as I said the first time, but who the fuck says those words? One of them, like, in the video was actually incohate. I bet none of you know what the fuck incohate is unless you Google it. In fact, I'm gonna fucking Google it right now. Because even I don't even fucking know what inchoate means. Okay, so apparently inchoate means just begun and not fully formed or developed, rudimentary. So just not developed. That's basically what that is. This is why we have ludum terms? No, layman's. Why did I think ludums? Layman's terms is what I meant. That's why we have layman's terms. So if anything, this bitch is just trying to sound smart by using long words and words no one fucking knows. Are you asking me to be your assistant? Servant, not assistant. Putting me and job in the same sentence is never a good idea. I barely have enough diligence to hand out stuff in class when I'm called by the teacher. How much worse would my punishment be if I worked with a woman, this crazy? Not detention, I'd assume. And yet, examining pieces of a puzzle, putting them together, framing the whole story, it was fun. Logic, ingenuity, sorry I had a niche, resourcefulness, and almost nothing is fun to me, which makes it doubly interesting. Sure, why not? And we'll see how that plays out in the next episode. Good God, I've been maybe if I edit this down, it's going to be like 30 minutes, but basically during this recording, I've been recording for 40 minutes. It's about to be at least 45 minutes. So, Jesus Christ. So far, interesting, might I say. This part actually was pretty interesting. I'm starting to see where this game might head now, because instead of just going day to day, it might actually be a detective story, which I fucking like. In fact, just to do a little quick thing, I'm going to actually capture my monitor for a second. Let me switch that over. Yeah. So, oh wait, yeah. Sorry, I suck at this. But yeah, you see this? This is my desktop right now. This is Cole Phelps from L.A. Noire. By the way, it's a good game. Except for the ending. Apparently, the ending sucks. I like the ending. But, if you want to see a full playthrough of that, I probably won't play it. But, you could check out Super Beard Bros. They definitely finished it. and it's a really good one. A lot of stuff, funny stuff happens. But let's switch back to the game. That was an event actually. That was pretty interesting. I like that. So if you guys enjoyed that, give it a like, give it a subscribe on all that bullshit. If actually no, not if. I'm gonna finish this off with a question for you guys. Do you think you're smart enough to maybe do something like this? Like, could you analyze body language and stuff to figure out what the fuck about somebody? I definitely couldn't, for sure. I mean, I could think really hard, but not if it involves a person. I barely even know my emotions. Like, at one point, like, I seem like I'm very depressed, and at another point, like, I'm happy as a motherfucker. Because I ate some fucking pizza. Like, I have no idea. I need to stop talking. But, like I said, like, just leave in the comments if you can do something like that. If you can see someone's personality through their body or through what they do, through everything that they use. I don't know. I definitely couldn't. So, yeah. Sorry about the coughing that's going to happen through the whole thing. Talking is very hard. It really is. Especially when you're trying to be entertaining, especially in a fucking reading thing. But, yeah, whatever. It's what you do as a YouTube entertainer with only 7 subscribers. Like, but as always, guys, I will see you in the next episode. Peace. It's gonna be very eventful for sure. And I'm gonna love it.